The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm ESPN Radio's Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes, and this is the 2021 off-season review for Brian's New York Giants.
Yes, sir. The New York Giants.
Brian, I think we all know that this is an improved team. You add Kenny Galladay in the offseason. You add Kadarius Toney.
Oh, God.
Calm down. He's still a weapon. Always remember that. Mm-hmm. You have many more pieces with this team than you had. How do you think it's all going to come together for your G-Men?
I think this really, and I think there's no big surprise here, this team is going to be hugely dependent on what kind of step Daniel Jones is making in year 3. If he's taking a Josh Allen type leap from year 2 to year 3, you can see this team easily getting into that borderline of the playoffs. 100%. They have the weapons around him now. Getting Nate Solder back
if he's on the roster, which he may not be.
He might not be, but I think they're starting to shore up the offensive line a little bit more than they have. I think a lot of this has to do, and the defense was much improved last year. I know looking at their record of 6-10, you're saying but it was a much improved defense over the stretch of the year. You've got to remember we ended 5-3 at the last 8 games of the season, so we did pretty well down the stretch. I looked at this team and got Adoree Jackson, who I know is
injury prone,
but I think he's a step better than what we've had. James Bradbury was unbelievably good last year. Jabril Peppers played a lot better. Logan Ryan's going to be continuing to be back there. Drafting Azeez Ojulari was huge for us, I believe. Blake Martinez is a tackling machine, and then you got Danny Shelton, Leonard Williams in that middle of the nose tackle, that inner defensive line, which I think is going to be great. I think this team has a real good shot of being on the fringe of making the playoffs. Again, this has a lot to do with Danny Dimes. If he is turning the ball over left and right like he has in his first 2 years, we're going to be having trouble. Another big thing is how healthy Saquon Barkley is going to be. I think that there's a lot being talked about Devontae Booker out of camp, how well he's adjusting to the situation. And I've always thought Devontae Booker was a good third down back, but he's not going to be able to come in and fill the shoes if Saquon gets hurt, so to speak.
That's the health of Saquon is a big question to me. My problem with the Giants is I do not believe in Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Right now, I feel like you have a very nice car.
Yeah.
It's not the Maserati that I have routinely said with the Cleveland Browns that's being driven by a penguin. I feel like you have a very nice Nissan Pathfinder, and it's being driven by a drunken squirrel. and that just scares the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. I look at Daniel Jones, and can he improve? Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I wish you had somebody sitting behind him that was a legitimate threat. Mike Glennon is not a threat to Daniel Jones.
No.
And I'm not saying that I want somebody to push him. I would like it to be like a Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
That would have made all the sense in the world to me. A guy that if Daniel Jones is ineffective and 6 weeks into the season, you know it, you can just throw the white flag and go. And go, we don't have the answer, but we have a guy that can win us some games this year. The Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, on and on and on.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Glennon can be that.
No.
Now, that being said, I think your defense is going to win you some games.
Yeah.
Because I do like this defense. I really like Ojulari, the second-round rookie coming off the edge. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's a lot of good pieces there. Mm-hmm. The problem is that I look at the Washington football team. I look at the Dallas Cowboys. I think their Washington's defense will be better than yours. I think Dallas is going to be close.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be markedly improved. I think it's going to be close. And I look in the division and I go, those are two really high-powered offenses that you're going to have to stop. And I think that's going to be a problem.
It is. I'm not denying the fact that this is a much improved division from last year because, God, it couldn't get any worse than it was last year. It was just god-awful. And you're talking about Danny Dimes. And listen, this is the ripcord polling right now. This is it. Like, if we have 2 first-round picks next year. If we do not see the improvement in Daniel Jones, it's time to pull the cord and just get off of the ship and just move into a different direction.
I mean, here's my thing, and I'm not trying to take a dig at the Giants by any stretch here.
Yeah.
You've had one winning season since 2012.
Yeah, we have not been very good.
Now, that being said, I'm going to say very similarly to what you said about my Jets, I'm
Yeah.
going to say about your Giants. I feel like you're trending in the right direction. There's one big difference. I think Zach Wilson will ultimately be the solution at quarterback for the Jets. I think you're going to have to use those two ones to get your solution at quarterback.
I think, and I'm afraid that's what we're going towards. I'm hopping, but you know what? Judge is going to be. He impressed me last year with his head coaching ability. I was a little bit weary of him coming in. Not having
I think
any
it's
head
a home
coaching,
run hire.
Yeah, not having head coaching experience prior to last year, but I think he absolutely changed this culture in there, and it was a much improved season. I'm very happy. I think he's definitely the coach that can lead us into the future of this franchise.
I agree. The thing that makes me a little nervous watching how Dave Gettleman has spent and used his draft capital in the offseason, I'm looking at how many receivers you have.
Oh, my God.
And it makes me really nervous. You have put a ton of draft capital, a ton of cap dollars into wide receiver. Kenny Golladay, obviously your best offseason addition.
Yeah.
And he's a legitimate one in this league.
Yeah.
But then I get to the John Ross and the Kadarius Toney, and you add that to Darius Slayton. You add that to Sterling Shepard, and I'm afraid that he thinks this is going to be a spread shootout kind of offense. And that's not how I would want this to go. When you signed Kyle Rudolph, I thought, and I'm not saying Kyle Rudolph is the greatest blocking tight end in the world. He's a good all-around tight end.
Yeah.
When you signed him, I thought there was going to be some more 12 personnel, 2 tight ends with a fullback, line up, run Saquon Barkley, give him the best opportunities to succeed. Run Jones out on some bootleg play action, things like that. Now I'm looking at the fact that you're going to carry 6 wide receivers into the season, and I just go, uh-oh.
I know, and if you guys watched the draft coverage, you knew exactly how I felt about them drafting Kadarius Toney in the first round. I was not very happy.
I didn't hate my ex-wives as much as he hated the Kadarius Toney
I just couldn't believe that they used it on that pick on Toney. Now, again, if they would have switched Ozzie and Kadarius Toney in the first and second round, I actually probably would have been okay with it.
I said that on draft night. If you'd taken Ojulari at, what was it, 20?
Yeah.
And taken Kadarius Toney with that, which you wouldn't have gotten him there because he wasn't last thing past Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how things go with him. There was the weird thing with the shoe. They gave him the wrong size cleats in minicamp.
There was already some weirdness going on in there. And I could see, so I'm going to try to play the apologistic person about this. I could see maybe what he was thinking is we've had a rash of injuries to our wide receiving core. Sterling Shepard has not necessarily been healthy all the time. Darius Slayton has been injured before. And I just think that they were looking at that and saying maybe we can do the depth. Well, you don't know what you're getting with John Ross either. I mean, this guy was out of the league basically.
John Ross is a shot.
John Ross was playing cornerback last year in Cincinnati. Yeah. That's how off the wall. And I think they were just taking the flyer on him, so to speak. But, with these guys, we do have some weapons. I really, really like the Kyle Rudolph because I think that can put Evan Ingram. That
gives you an actual inline tight end.
Yeah, and it puts him in a better position. Evan Ingram needs to stick him on his damn hands because he drops the ball damn too much. I mean, there was at least 2 games that he probably lost on his own last year, dropping passes that we needed him to make. And it was really bad, and he needs to improve as well.
This is a make-or-break year to me for Evan Ingram, the guy that you took in the first round out of Ole Miss, a few years ago. This is a make-or-break year. He did not seem to fit well in the Jason Garrett system. I think Kyle Rudolph does, and that to me is certainly an improvement. The forgotten man to me is Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at fantasy football ADP, and yes, there are leagues that are drafting right now.
Oh,
why?
exactly.
I don't know, but there are. And right now, he's going as the 9th pick in the 12th round.
Yeah.
I mean, Devontae Smith and Mecole Hardman are the 2 receivers after him.
Yeah.
That's insanity to me. Like, Henry Ruggs and Nelson Aguilar are going ahead of him.
Sterling Shepard is a guy, when he's been healthy in this league, is a good 6 to 10 catch a game, 80 to 120 yards a game, and a touchdown. Like, he's been very healthy, and him and Daniel Jones do have a good rapport. He was hurt for a lot of the beginning of the season, but he came on in the end, and it was pretty well. I'm just looking at Darius Slayton. I know that seems to be the one that surprised me the most with the Kadarius Toney drafting, because I thought Darius Slayton was a guy who markedly improved, and it just seems like now he's down the pecking order now after you sign Kenny Golladay. Now and if they're drafting this guy in the first round, they're trying to, I don't want them to be felt like they have to put Tony in because they drafted him in the first round.
Well, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
He's a first round pick, and people get a little touch and go with rookies.
Yeah.
And as the guy that does the draft on this show, I will tell you, don't put the cart before the horse with rookies like that.
Okay.
He's going to be the fourth wide receiver on this team.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney probably sees 25 to 30 snaps a week. Mm-hmm. Will it cut into Darius Slayton? Yes. Will it cut into Sterling Shepard? Yes. Mm-hmm. But I still don't think he's higher in the pecking order than 4. I wouldn't let that bother me.
Yeah.
The thing I will say about Sterling Shepard is he has wide receiver 2 upside in fantasy football.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be going that late. I would take him ahead of every receiver I said except Devontae Smith. Mm-hmm. And my thing with Devontae Smith is not that I think he's better.
It's just
he's the only living receiver on that team.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor is the 2.
Yeah. Ugh.
So I look at Sterling Shepard, and I have to remind people going into their fantasy football drafts, because we are approaching that quickly. Do not forget about Sterling Shepard, because he seems to be the forgotten man every year. Yep. Looking at our projections for record this year for your New York Giants.
Yes.
Tank and I, the 2 ESPN Radio guys, have them at 7-10. You have them at 9-8. Tommy, our social media extraordinaire, has them at 6-11, and Caleb has them at 4-13.
And I hate Caleb, but
the Giants fans will too. It'll be in the comments. Don't worry.
It's okay. Listen, maybe 9-8 was being a little bit homerish. We like to talk about no homer around here. Maybe I was looking while we were picking each game a little bit through some rose-colored glasses. Again, this is on me thinking and possibly maybe more hoping that we're going to see a impression of Danny Dimes that we've been looking for.
You were 6-10 last year. You haven't won more than 6 games since 2013.
Yeah.
So to me, I've got you as an improvement. I actually like some of what you did. Mm-hmm. I still don't really believe in Dave Gettleman. Never have.
Oh, God.
After covering him down here in Carolina for so many years. I think you're trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's just a thing of, can Daniel Jones progress? Can he stop turning the damn ball over so much?
Yeah.
That, to me, is going to be the story of the 2021 season for your New York Giants.
And I think it's 1A, B, and C about this team. It really is. I think that everything is based around what we're going to see from Daniel Jones. Everything else, I think, has worked itself out nicely. It's that one thing and it's something that, when you draft a guy that high and he doesn't pan out, this is how bad it can hurt your team, because there's other guys that could have been drafted in that draft, and we would be in a better position than we are now.
Daniel Jones is the story of the 2021 season for the New York Giants. What about the story for Father's Day?
Oh, boy.
Manscaped.com. Get 20% off your order at manscaped.com, plus free shipping by using our promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Let's face it, your first home, no matter who you are, was your father's balls.
Yeah.
And it's long overdue that you get a housewarming present for your first home. Get Dad something for Father's Day at manscaped.com. Whether it's the Lawnmower 4.0 for male grooming, whether it's the Weed Whacker for ear and nose hair eradication, or any of the other tremendous products that can be found at manscaped.com, make sure to use our promo code SPORTSOCRACY at manscaped.com to find Dad something this Father's Day. Get 20% off and free shipping in the domestic United States by using our promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. I'm Jeremy Greene of ESPN Radio. This is New York Giants superfan extraordinaire Brian Haynes, and this has been the New York Giants 2021 all-season review from the Sportsocracy. Be sure to click like and subscribe so you can join us live every weekday morning for fresh hot sports takes, delusional fan syndrome eradication, and all the wonderful things right here from the Wicked Weed Studios every weekday morning at 9 a.m. For Brian Haynes, I'm Jeremy Greene. Be sure to check out our friends that brought this program to you, Wicked Weed Brewing. Find them at wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.